right, here where's our little piece that we're doing, and we've still got some work to do on him, but we're going to go ahead and go to another piece of the carving. Now the next thing we're going to carve, because it'll all go together, is we're going to carve this is the front of the camera here. It's going to kind of fit inside here. We're going to actually have to kind of move this inside so that it looks like it's fitting over the fitting inside of the piece there, in other words. All right, well, so what I did is the piece that I had, I measured from here to here, which is about 1 inch. And so I cut the little piece to fit inside here, in other words. Now this is a little bit long, so I'm going to have to kind of bring it down a little bit, which is no problem, none whatsoever. And anyway, actually it fits like this, is what it does. It fits like this and here, and it's 1 inch thick. 1 inch thick. Of course, remember that I brought this down. So what we want to do, let me make sure that my camera is dead set on this thing. Okay. All right. We're going to draw a line from here to here. We're going to have to bring this down just a little bit, but that's okay. And we're going to take and bring this down. Okay. And the same here. I'll use my push cut in here. Taking just a little bit off at a time. Now let's look at this here. See, as it goes down, and of course this front of the camera will have to be brought down to like this far. So we're going to start bringing this down. And the same thing over here. This is a rather cool morning this morning, and in Texas. It's a pretty morning, but it's cool. And we want to bring this down. Now let's look at the piece here. we want the lens here to be, so what we want to do is we want to cut this lens about the size that we want it to be. So let's cut this. Okay, and let's cut here. And then we're going to remove this here. You want to be very careful. It's a little tough in there. So let's take a little bit more of it off. There we go. Making it just a little bit. And that lens is probably even going to have to come back down a little further. There we go. See, I'm taking just a little bit off. I'm not getting crazy. Okay. Now this is going to be round, so we're going to just kind of cut the, let's go ahead and start cutting the ends off of this thing and start getting it to where it's got a round shape to it right now. That way, making it like this will give us the idea of how far we need to come down on this. Okay. That's about what we want, somewhere in there. So we want to bring our each side, we want to bring this down a little bit. And a little bit on this side. And we want to bring down this a little bit. This here. Now we want to keep this fairly square in here, but we still need to bring this down a little bit more. If we look at the piece, it's just a little bit over, and it sort of comes down at an angle. So we'll work that out, in other words. Okay? This is actually how it goes. So we're going to bring this down some more. And bring this down some more. And we work from both sides, remember. We work from both sides of this and bring it down in here. Now that is pretty close to what we want right there. Just like that. Because that's pretty close to what we're looking at. We're outside, folks, so you're going to hear some, there's a bird making a wild noise, and we'll drill a little hole in this, kind of give it some looking at our piece here. And we see that. But what we do want is we want this. We're going to have to bring down this a little bit. So we just want to bring that down a little bit. Let me take and get this closer. I'll bring that down just a little bit. And we want to bring this here down a little bit. Okay. So, and we can bring this down just a tiny bit on both sides. Not a whole lot, but some down just a little bit. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to look at the actual piece itself. And let's bring this down even more. Just I want to get it pretty close in here, and a little bit closer in here, and definitely a little bit closer in here. I want to get closer to this right here. Okay. Okay. Okay, now what we want to see, sorry, I got the pencil in my mouth. Now, you notice that it has little ridges here. This is the way it's going to be, so we're going to put a ridge right here, a ridge right here, and a ridge right here. And what this does, this goes all the way across, just like this. It's like a folding thing right here that we have. Now, we can do this in several ways, okay? We can do it with our knife, or we can do it with a V-tool. Now, what I want to do is I want to bring this down a little bit, right in here. We can do it with a knife, or we can do it with a V-tool. Now, I don't know where my, let me see, let me get my V-tool and just show you how you can do this. Let me see what my small V-tool is. Well, one of the ways of doing it is just taking your V-tool and just going across it like that, in other words. Okay. You can also do this with a little Dremel or something like that, but I like to do it with a knife because a lot of you maybe haven't learned to work with a V-tool yet. So, very good. And then take your knife and you do this across here and you just V-cut it like this. See it? You V-cut it just like this. There you go. You get the same effect, folks. You V-cut it just like that. Look at that. See? Then you can make it as deep as you want. You just go back, make it a little deeper. Go back, make it a little deeper, go back, make it a little deeper, and you turn around and do the same thing on all four sides. Now you want to be careful because this is close to the hands. Wear your glove. Wear your glove. But you can use the V-tool. But don't try to take it all at one time. Don't do that. Just work it and make your V cuts like this, and you get the desire that you want, see? And do this here. I like to cut it one at a time and cut it. I don't like the Now look at that, see? And then make the cut down. The birds are crazy this morning. They're just going wild this morning. This is a small piece, so just be very careful. Wear your glove. Wear your glove to work with, okay? I've done this a lot of times, and I could cut myself. I'm not saying I won't. I just, as I get older, I have a hard time. This would be harder for me with a glove on because my hands don't work like they should. And then we're going to cut this here. One. Very light cut. Very light cut. Very light cut. Look at that, see? Very light cut. And what I'm going to do, I'll bring this down just a little bit here up front. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit here up front, like that. And a very light cut back here. And you come on both sides and you make that V cut. And look at that. See? And you can go deeper with it. But look at that. We have a train not far from my mother's house here. And this goes on all day long. And these guys sit on these horns coming through town. And I understand the reason for it and stuff, but man, they're loud. Hear it all the way over here, and that train's pretty good ways off. But I know that's their safety rules. I understand that. Okay. So look at that. Now, let's take our piece and look at it just for a minute. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to have this reset in here. Okay? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to bring this in. So I'm going to show you, we're going to take this and we're going to bring this down. In fact, let me get one of my larger gouges. I can do it just as quick with a knife. I guess I've learned how to do everything with a knife, that I can do it so much quickly. But we're actually going to come in here And we're going to reset that. And so that this kind of looks like it's setting in here. So and let's go ahead and just come across here and cut in where this sort of sets over that also. And we're gonna reset it. Okay. See, it's going to reset and fit back in here like that, see? So I have to bring this down and bring this in. Same thing here.